Well, good day to you today, church. It's Pastor Geoffrey with the weekly video blog update for the week in preparation for a March 19th and 20th weekend that has a lot of activities going on. First and foremost, we have an activity that we are hosting on Saturday morning at 7:30 in the morning, the men's prayer breakfast for the Republican Valley. The men get together every month, the third weekend of the month on a Saturday. We have not hosted the prayer breakfast in a while, so we are going to put our hospitality on display. So there are sign-up sheets if you want to get together and help provide for a breakfast for the men. That would be much appreciated, and my bride Kat, as well as other ladies in the church, are coordinating making that breakfast for the guys. The prayer breakfast is the start of a busy weekend, and really it goes through about 8 days, because on the week prior, or excuse me, the week after that, that would be March 26th, we are going to host the men's Bible study here at the church about the end times. And we have opened up this Bible study to anybody in the community who wants to show up and participate, any of the men who want to come and learn about what the Bible says about what's coming. Everybody looking at media headlines now has some idea that we are in the last days. There are a lot of events that are going on that are prophetic in nature, meaning that the Bible has predicted that these events would occur. And we're all moving towards the end time with a rapid pace. What are the signs that we should be aware of? And how would they trigger us to prepare for communicating to our friends and family that may not know the Lord about what is coming in the future? That's going to be the topic of conversation from various scriptures around the Bible. We're going to look to build our own timeline. And the timeline of the Old Testament with some of the events was pretty fixed. There's certain things in the Old Testament that, were predicted and then fulfilled, where we can pin an actual date when the event began and a date when a period of time ended, and then going through to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ at a fixed time that was predicted by the prophet Daniel. And it is a perfect prediction, the actual year to the year predicted in the Old Testament before those events showed up. As we come into the New Testament, we have a little bit more ambiguity as to the time. We can't really perceive an actual date. Nothing has really been predicted as an actual date that we could fix ourselves to. But what shows up in the New Testament is also a lot of events where you can understand which event would come before another event. So we can kind of build our timeline based on the events. And when we see one event, come to fruition, then we know the next event on the timeline is going to be, this. And so that's the way we kind of build our timeline for the end times. And there's a lot of viewpoints out there about what will happen first. You hear words like rapture or millennial kingdom, or when does the Antichrist, show up, or the abomination of desolation. Those kind of words are tossed about a lot by a lot of people on YouTube and other places. How about we come up with our own understanding of these by studying the scriptures? Learn for ourselves what the Bible says, how they apply to a particular timeline, rather than trying to take somebody else's word for it. Let's learn together on what the timeline should look like. Then we're prepared to intelligently communicate with our friends and family. Look, The Bible has predicted these events to happen, and in a certain, time period in the future, they will come into fruition and be real life events. Then we're much better prepared to talk to somebody about the importance of a relationship with Jesus Christ, the way that we can pass through all of these judgments to come and be safe and secure with Him in heaven. So that is coming the week after the men's prayer breakfast. But before we get to the men's prayer breakfast, what about this weekend? So this coming weekend, March 20th, our first steps is going to be looking at the end times. And I call the message the beginning of the end times, because where we are in the world right now, everybody should kind of have an idea about what's going on. We want to be smart about that, but we don't want to go really, really deep in a sermon about this. We want to do maybe a prophecy update, something that we can look to, that we understand some of the major pieces that need to happen before we start moving into that last week or the last 7 years that we call the tribulation. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at some of the other scriptures around that give us some understanding about what the end time is, just at a high level. Maybe to pique the interest of many, that a deeper study into the end times would provide a lot of enjoyment and a lot of educational value, all with the motivation that we need to share that with our friends and family who don't know the Lord. So those are 3 events that are coming up on our calendar here over the next couple of weeks that are very, very important. So I look forward to seeing you guys coming up this weekend on Saturday for the men, and then Sunday for the whole fellowship as we start looking at end time stuff. So this is your update for the week. I hope you guys have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you guys this weekend. Love you guys.